Hey, what's up, everybody? It is your girl JoJo, and I am here with a review for Ready to Love Season 11, Episode 5. I hope you guys are doing good today. I am doing better. I'm doing well. Thank you so much to everybody for sticking it out with me these last couple of weeks. It has been a very trying time and still going. But I really do want to get back to my life and my routine and start picking a few things back up, my channel included, my channel being one of those things. But I just want to thank you all for praying and for my family, especially my mom, siblings. Yes, so my stepdad had gone into the hospital and he was having trouble breathing. But we were fully expecting him to leave and his, lung to be back healthy. He was dealing with one lung due to a battle with cancer. The other lung had kind of just, took a beating with the treatment and all of that. And so he had developed an infection in that lung and it wasn't clearing up. He was not a candidate for a trach due to the amount of oxygen that was needed. And just a number of things, you guys. And once the organ failure began, we just didn't want, there were certain things that we did not want to happen because they would be painful. And my mom made a very difficult decision. It was hard to witness. It was hard to watch. But I will say, definitely until death do us part, she did that. We all got to be there with him in the room as everything happened, and I was right where I was supposed to be, so I'm thankful for that. But it was very all of it was difficult. The hospital, the planning, the insurance, the program, and if you are the oldest, you already know how you have to step it up. So it's been a lot, but I wouldn't have wanted to do it for anybody else. I will say that. I love my stepdad. I cannot believe he is gone, but we will continue on. And yeah, I'm gonna stop there because we need to get into this review and I don't want to start getting too emotional. So thank you again, you guys. But let's just go ahead. Let's just thank you and let's talk about what happened on the show. I have never been to Detroit, Michigan, but it is a trip I think I'm going to put on my list. I believe that there is a lot of culturally relevant history that I need to see and I need to be a part of an experience. So I am going to come out that way. I'm going to make it my business maybe next year to come out that way and have me a good cultural trip and learn about the city and really have a good time. I'm looking forward to it already. But nephew Tyler Perry meets with the fellas at the home of Aretha Franklin, which I would love to see. And he's letting them know that he's going to be throwing a 70s bash. They need to let the ladies know to come dressed in their best. They're going to have a good time and, of course, make their connections. And, of course, also, it's elimination time again. So, but that'll come up at the actual event. They go into the house, though, and Chris has this, he says he had a very inappropriate, inappropriate meeting with that stove. Now, it was a beautiful stove. And from what I know about Aretha Franklin and her history, she did not play about her food. So it does not surprise me that she had that lovely stove in her house. Chris said it was easily worth about $70,000. It was beautiful. Didn't have like 9 eyes on it, gas stove. Very nice. But the way he was rubbing on it and caressing it, I was like, Chris, do we need to leave you alone with the stove? I bet he was just like, oh my God, I could do croissants and all the things I could saute and flap it and flip it and rub it down. I just couldn't. He was like he couldn't get all of himself. I said, Chris, we still watching, baby. I don't know what's about to go on with you and the stove. Oh my goodness, y'all. But I needed that laugh. So yeah, everybody need to get ready for the 70s party. So we get to the party, and while everybody does look good, I don't think some people knew. Y'all know what 70s mean? A few people look like they was dressed for 2023. Then some look like 1995. But you know, it is what it is. But let's get to some conversations. So Christina sits down with the tall girl. I will remember her name in a minute, but I'm flowing right now. She sits down with her because it has been said that Vince called her the B word. Remember, we learned that last week. You were referred to as the tall B. And for whatever reason, Christina feels like she should be the one to approach Vince and say something to him about it. Now, I'm not really sure why it's got to be her, but she feels like she need to be the one and that Vince needs to be checked because it's inappropriate. Now, I do think what Vince said, did he say it on camera? Did we see that on camera? I'm not really sure. But yeah, it is inappropriate. But I guess I'm trying to figure out why Christina feels like she needs to be the one. And I know Christina was wearing y'all out last week when she did that little test about her massage and trying to see who was going to offer some money. Oh, I know she wore the people out with that one. But she feel like she need to be the one to address it. So, I mean, why? Lauren is her name. So after Lauren and Christina talk, we see Vince having a good time while he still can. And he's talking to Donna. And Donna is talking about how funny Vince is. And I guess it's something that you just got to be there for. Because I do not think Vince is funny. There's no point in time where he's on camera where I'm hitting him with the he. He's not ugly. He's not an ugly man for sure. But I just don't like. She ain't the only woman that think Vince is funny. But I just was like, I don't see what are you girls talking about? I ain't laughed yet. But I'm happy they got their little thing going on. Good for them. Nephew Tyler Perry comes through with some hair on his head, and I immediately knew that we were all in for a bad time. I knew he was going to get up there thinking he was super fly, trying to tell jokes like JJ, and I wasn't going to be here for none of it. He got on my damn nerves. As soon as I saw him, I was like, oh, this jive turkey. He already talked like a jive turkey anyway, so he really about to get on my nerves now that he got a little bit of hair on his head. I said, who gave Nephew Tyler Perry this 27 piece? Get it off of his head right now, because he already don't know how to act, baby. I bet you he was like, yes, this is what I used to look like back in the day when I was running Jacqueline around town and not marrying her and making her wait after we had them kids. But that's neither here nor there. Now, he comes in so everybody can get a good look at his fit. At least he is on target with he's got the appropriate clothes on, unlike some other people at the 70s. Y'all ladies, just because you put on a boa and some gloves don't make it 70s. Okay, I'm sorry. Y'all was all going for y'all Diana Ross. But nephews, it was last minute, right? You had to do what you could do. Nephew Tyler Perry lets them know, even though y'all out here having a good time, and I want you to have a good time, there is one woman today that will be going home. So, it's a bunch of, oh my goodness. I forgot to mention that earlier. Christina did mention that she hopes she'll be able to make her rounds with some of the other gentlemen because she's only been focused on 2 connections. And it's still early. That happens. You still got time to talk to the other guys engaged. You actually still do have time for that. It's still pretty early in the game, so no worries there. But Christina got other things she need to be worried about. We actually don't have to wait too long for an apology to happen. Vince gets with Lauren and he apologizes to her, although not right away. He was really talking a lot before I didn't want to send a voicemail. I didn't want to send a text. I didn't want to, baby, get to it. He does end up apologizing, and she says she really appreciated it because she was embarrassed to hear that he had said those things about her. And he says he kind of got a little too loose with his mouth, and he apologizes, and Lauren believes it is sincere. So they've hashed it out, but baby, this ain't the last conversation that Vince gonna have to have for the evening. Now, Ashante has been connecting with Steven, but she's also interested in Darius. Darius was dressed as if these clothes were already in his closet. I believe he already had this attire available to him. And him and Ashanti are talking, and we find out about yet another job that Darius had. So a lot of that conversation was more so like flirty. He was looking at her chest area, admiring how pretty she was. And he said, yeah, I want to take a picture. You know, I used to be a photographer. And she said, oh yeah, how long you been doing that? And it sounded like he wasn't really no photographer. He just probably had a nice camera in his youth that he liked to take pictures with. None of what he was talking about was given. He wasn't talking angles or lighting or, you know, Canon, Sony, none of the Nikon. He wasn't really talking about anything. So I don't believe that Darius was a photographer. I don't believe it. But he could have been, because we know he has plenty of occupations and careers, but he likes what he sees when it comes to Ashante. Christina has a little button on her. And let me tell you how I know. Because she had made some type of joke to Chris. And Chris was like, you stupid. And Christina was like, I'm actually very intelligent. Now, she played it off. But there's a subset of people, and I know somebody gonna respond to what I'm about to say, that when you say certain words, they do not care if you mean them in a joking way or if it's something that you say. Like, people be like, oh my gosh, you so dumb, or oh my gosh, you so stupid. Them people that's got a little button on them, they will take them kind of things. They know you don't mean it literally, but they don't care. It do something to them. Why? Because there's a little button somewhere in there. And you unknowingly just pressed it, whether you was trying to joke with her or not. But she played it off. And so she's telling Chris how good he smells. I want to know how this man smells, because everybody is always telling Chris that he smells very good. And she's talking about how she kind of moves through the men that are qualified for her and are not. And she was just like, you know, I know what men aren't going to be for me, and I go ahead and weed them out. And Chris was like, well, how do you go through that process when you're doing something the way we're doing? Like, how do you see and how do you know that this person is moving with intention and all of that, right? And she says very easily. And so she brings up to Chris the little test that she ran on the other men. Chris does not realize, okay, Mr. I ain't got it. And I do believe Chris had it, but I believe that he just wasn't going to give it up to Christina. And Chris does not realize that he is a part of a test environment with other men that she has asked us to. So Chris is just kind of looking at Christina like, I had no idea that this was going on. I actually started recording last episode's review, but I didn't finish it because I just didn't feel up to it. But one of the things that I said in this review is I don't inherently have a problem with Christina wanting to see what these men are about. Now, I don't really like testing people, especially with very trivial things such as this, but I have no problem if Christina feels like she wants a man who has means to be able to show up for her or do for her. I don't even care if Christina's a gold digger. I really don't. I really don't. But the issue that, and before somebody say it like, oh, if it was a man on here gold digging and we've seen it happen, then let that man dig and let him run whatever test he gonna run. The problem that I'm having with Christina is that the game is to be sold, not told. What you telling everybody for? If you gonna run a game and if you gonna have a test environment, why are you telling all of the men that you're testing them? That defeats the purpose. Just run the test and see what happens. Y'all remember old dude on that season that was like, it was a litmus test. It was a litmus. What was his name, y'all? But if you go run test on somebody, then run it. Why are you letting everybody know that you testing them to see if they really about you or not? That doesn't make sense to me, baby. You giving away the game for free. What you doing that for? Dominique and Bolo. Dominique tells us with her mouth that she is interested in both Bolo and Devon, but she tells us with her body language and her lips and her cooking that she's really only interested in Bolo. She's just trying to make sure she don't put all of her eggs in one basket, which is smart. But there's a lot of heavy flirtation between these two. Last week, she cooked his favorite food. She wasn't worried about nobody else's favorite food. She cooked his favorite cuisine, and they kissed when he walked in. Now, one of the things that I hear everybody saying as they talk to their person is, we spent all this time on the phone. We spent all these hours on the phone. The connection is real. And while I do agree with talking on the phone, getting to know each other, make sure that you all are going on actual dates. Make sure that you all are actually meeting up in person. Sometimes when you talk on the phone with somebody and you put all that phone time in, you start thinking that you have this really close connection, and you all have literally done nothing together. You haven't even been around each other physically. It's a very false sense of reality. You guys are caught up like teenagers on the phone. Then you get together as grown people in real life and you be like, I don't really like him. I don't really like her. I don't even... we don't even vibe well together, but y'all talking on the phone, y'all doing all this chit-chatting. Make sure that you're spending some time together. I heard that a lot in these conversations. Bolo makes it very clear that he wants a woman that's ambitious. When Dominique is telling him her dream of opening up her boutique, he was like, I do real estate. Maybe I can help you find a place. That's cool. Make sure you put in the contract, Dominique, that if this don't work out, he's still going to be your realtor. Make sure you get that down in writing. But Bolo said he want a woman who is just as ambitious as him, because he is coming as a whole person and he wants somebody that's equally coming with that same energy. So he hope Dominique understand. I hope Dominique understand, because she's swooning thinking he doing her a favor. And he was like, well, why wouldn't we build together? Why wouldn't I support your dream? That's the kind of woman I want. Why wouldn't I help you out with looking for a place? I want you to get some money too, is what he telling you, girl. Then, baby, we get to dancing, child. They doing dances from all kind of different eras. They'll drop down and did the worm. Everybody is looking good. We got some real nice 70s outfits. We got Lauren giving Diana Ross. I will say, I think she ate that. We got Bolo. Bolo was he doing some type of rerun dance? Everybody looks good, but now, baby, what is this? What is it? What is that? Nothing about it is giving 70s. Not at all. I don't care that you put a glove on it. It's not giving 70s. I don't even think. Maybe I wouldn't even say. I was about to say the makeup, but nothing about it. Nothing. What was going on here? And then, Lord bless Donna. She tried. All right, she tried. I know that dress because I almost bought it from Fashion Nova for the Margarita Ball. She put the gloves on with it. She was trying to give Diana Ross too, but Lauren went ahead and fully executed the look. I think that Donna was trying to give you some more, Maryland glam, high end, but it wasn't. It didn't translate. It didn't land. Can we just say, root to the outbrush. I'm sorry, y'all. I got to give it up. I don't normally behave like this over here, but I got to give it up. Do you know how hard it is to get down on that floor like that and get back up when you closer to 40 to 30? And them knees don't work like they used to do. His back might have been hurting the next day. But I tell you, Eddie, baby, you did that. I know you be at the house. Old mother Hubbard, she went to the cupboard to get her cute dog a bone. All right. Boy, you did that. Okay, all my respect. Shannon and Devon, it was cute. It was a moment, right? It was a moment. I thought they looked real cute together. Devon talks about, again, how much they have in common. Shannon, she really was looking, baby. She was talking about he had his shirt open, and they went to the side to talk a little bit more. They start talking about things they like, things they enjoy. And Devon lets her know that one of the things that he likes to do with the woman he likes is invite her to work out with him, because he does go work out. And Shannon said very similar. I like to do the same things. I would love for you to come do something with me, Pilates. And Devon said he's okay with that. And she was so excited. And he was like, I'm happy that made you so happy, which I'm going to get to that comment in a minute. But she says that a lot of times when she invites guys to Pilates, they find it to be feminine, which, baby, ain't nothing feminine about that. I mean, if you talking about the outfit, that's feminine, but ain't nothing feminine about that Pilates. I used to do mat Pilates, and it wasn't nobody up in there but myself and some elders, and them old people was putting me to shame. They got a strong back, core, and hip. But, excuse me, if you want to get yourself right, if you have back problems, knee problems, if your hips or sciatic nerve pain, any of that, Pilates is for you. You can start with the mat and you can build yourself up to doing the reformer. I've actually never done the reformer, but I'm looking forward to doing it because they are building a studio at the LA Fitness I go to. So I'm looking forward to starting it very soon. But yeah, child, ain't nothing weak about that Pilates now. But Devon said he is in touch with his masculinity. He is not afraid to do things that people say is feminine. He's very in touch with himself, so he don't care about none of that. And Shannon is relieved. Okay. Now I want to talk about the comment that Devon made when he said, "Oh, I'm glad that made you so happy." Now the comment was probably harmless, but when he made it, I squinted my eyes. Devon, don't play with me. And I know y'all thinking to yourself, you suspicious of everything, and I am. And what about it? Because I'm usually not wrong. I'm just early. So let me tell you why I squinted my eyes at Devon. Because I've been watching this show a long time. We've been watching this show a long time, right? And sometimes what happens with men like Devon has admitted that he has a quirkiness about him, right? So I'm not talking about him. He already said it. I'm just agreeing with him. A lot of times what happens with those types of men on this show is sometimes they tend to get a little bit too much dip on their chip, if you know what I mean. They get these women who like them, and they get these women who enjoy their time, and they start thinking that they living out that high school fantasy of being the guy that got all the girls. But they don't remember that this is a controlled environment. Okay? Yes, you are getting to choose amongst these women. Yes, you do have options, but this is a controlled environment. This is not a real world experience. Do not get too much dip on your chip in here and start thinking you about to live out some fantasy of having all these women waiting around on you to make a decision, because that's how many have gone home eliminated, because these women have gotten tired of it and eliminated themselves. They wasn't about to be waiting on you. Okay? These women are not waiting on you. If we get to that point, they are giving you a chance. They are giving you an opportunity. Okay? But they ain't just wanting you like that. Well, Shannon might. But they ain't just fiending for you like that. This ain't that. Okay? And you ain't that. You are this. He has great qualities, but you ain't that. And ladies, y'all know what I mean. And fellas, y'all know what I mean too. Y'all know how it is. You got a group of homeboys, and all of y'all are, fine, eligible bachelors, but it's like one or two of y'all that's that, and then the rest of y'all is this, but all good. All good options. And what makes a man that, sometimes it's looks, most of the times it's your charisma, your character, the way you carry yourself. It's not just necessarily having game per se, but what I'm telling y'all, I'm not telling y'all. Y'all know what it is. No, I ain't finna be. I ain't Christina. We're just releasing stuff for the sake of releasing it. Hey, this is the perfect still shot for what I'm about to say. Christina, I don't know if baby girl was drunk. I don't know if she had one too many sips of the 70s groove. I have no idea. But let me tell you this. That girl is 2 bricks short of a load. I don't know what is wrong. Christina goes up to Vince and says that they need to talk so they can get an understanding of one another. Vince wants to know what had happened because I feel like the energy got stale between us. Well, I heard that you called a friend of mine. I didn't know her and Lauren were friends. You called her the B word. And I didn't appreciate that, because who you calling the B word? You all ready to love? Excuse me. Y'all should get to moving her body from side to side. Vince is looking at her like this girl is not right. Then they move into, Vince tells her he didn't appreciate all of that because you went off of something you heard, and then you started treating me accordingly without having a conversation with me. You were being rude. You was being disrespectful. But he lets her know that he already talked to Lauren and they good. Okay? So we get past that, right? We move into next, her coming up to him. He was just like, basically, you just turned it off with me and I didn't know why. Then we move into her discussing how if you want to get with her, you got to understand what it is that she needs. And so she asked him, as well as some other men, could they do something for her? She needed a massage. And he was like, oh, they did that for you. She was like, no, they saw something that I needed and they were willing to do something. See, that's the kind of man that I need. Okay, just like my father was for my mother for 39 years. Well, guess what, Christina? Vince not your damn daddy. That's number one. Number two, you don't really know these men like that. And number three, why again are you letting yet another man know the test in the game that you trying to run on them? You're doing a bad job. Who taught her ways? I know not her mama. I know Christina mama didn't teach her this. Not when she married for 39 years. I know she didn't teach baby girl the game like this. And Vince is kind of looking at her, okay, like, well, obviously that's what you need. No, let me tell you something about me. Okay? Because you can have me. You can have me. If you can. Y'all, I wish I could do her voice, but Christina is certified crazy, and I knew then she was going home. Y'all, believe it or not, I've been doing this review all day. The sun was out when I started this review. Okay, let's get it done. So Ashante and Steven are talking. They really wasn't talking about nothing besides the fact that Steven says that he cuts up. Is it Steven or Steve? He cuts up when he around her, and okay, he says things that he shouldn't. Then we get Darius, and I believe her name is Ashley, but I'm not 100% sure. I'm sorry, you guys, again. But I don't know what she is getting out of Darius. She said that they was on the phone for 4 hours, again, these long phone conversations. But he comes off as this harder guy or this super macho guy, but on the inside he's really sweet. I want to know what y'all talking about on that phone for 4 hours, because when Darius gets on camera, it's a bunch of, oh girl, you know what it is, you know how I feel about you, you know it's always real when I'm talking to you, you ain't missed yet when we have. What are we talking about here? And she's telling him that he needs to start narrowing it down because he's still friendly with a lot of the ladies. Y'all, we only on episode 5. Did they film this out of order? Because it seems like everybody is kind of talking like, I need to be narrowing it down. I need to be making my connections. Y'all really still in like mingle mode a little bit. But I understand what you're trying to do. But what is it about Darius? Like, do y'all see it? I don't see it. I'm not enjoying this. I don't feel like Eddie is interested in her. I could be wrong, but Nicole, don't jump through hoops over your college crush. You talking about planning a Zoom date. Why would y'all be planning a Zoom date? Y'all live in the same city. Has he expressed that he's too busy to go out with you? Why would you be planning a Zoom date with him? Because you're that interested in getting to know him? Absolutely not, Nicole. Don't do it, okay? Don't break your own heart. If he's not interested, move along to a man who is. Donna and Eddie end up having a conversation because you remember Eddie had made a comment that to some of the guys that he thought she may not have been all that religious, and some of the guys were, and that was a concern for them. Donna feels like the way that Eddie told the men was an issue, and that is how she ended up almost on the chopping block in the previous weeks. After listening to the two of them talk, I don't believe there was any misconception. It sounds to me like Donna may believe in a higher power. She may even be agnostic, but she don't believe in the Father, the Son, the Holy Ghost. She doesn't believe in Christ the King. She might believe in Christ's consciousness, but she doesn't believe in the true God that you and I may serve. You know, if you are a Christian, she doesn't believe in that. Like he said, Jesus is God to me. And he made it very clear what he was talking about, because Donna, in my opinion, was talking around it. She was just like, but I didn't say that I wasn't spiritual, that I didn't believe in anything. Well, baby, we not saying that either. We ain't trying to say, atheist. But what we are trying to get very clear is you don't believe in Jesus, correct? And at that point, she really didn't have much to say, because that is the truth. And it sounds like a lot of these men, which is no surprise, are Christian. I agree with Eddie. I believe that one day you're going to find the man that can walk in step with what you believe in. And why wouldn't you want that? If you are a person who values your belief system, because some people don't value their belief system. They don't care they can practice something and not care what the person who lays next to them practice. Some people, their belief system isn't high on their values, right? But let's say you are a person where it's very high in your value system, and it plays in how you make decisions. It plays in how you raise your children. It could even play into how you choose how you do politics, what type of career paths you choose, your hobbies, your interests, all of that. Then you would want a man to walk in tandem with you on that. You would not want to be totally separate from him. And I have a feeling that you probably like to date within your community. You probably like to date black men. A lot of black men are often Christian, not all the time, but are often Christian. And so you find yourself tiptoeing around your belief, saying, well, I believe in God, I just don't go to church, and I believe in this, I believe in that, and you want to tiptoe around it because you don't want to scare this man off, because you know once you get up to Big Mama house, you can't be talking about the fact that you don't believe in Jesus and all of that. You're going to have to stand on something. And if that's high on your value system, stand on it and try to find a like-minded partner, because it is out there. It's out there a lot these days. So there was no misconception. I got exactly what Eddie was saying, and I understood what Donna was saying once she chose to be more outward with it. All right, lastly, nephew Tyler Perry pulls the fellas to the side. This is probably one of the few seasons where I see the men really having to make difficult decisions and really agonizing over it. And the women are often very, very nervous about eliminations. I don't think I've seen a season like this in a very long time. But I think we all got an inkling of who is going home based on tonight's performance. I have a feeling, Donna, you will be safe once again. But I did notice that Dominique was a lot of people's top. Very interesting, because Dominique, I bet she ain't got all of y'all in her top. But she was a lot of people's interest. So we will see how it goes in the coming weeks. I've been enjoying the show. I have been watching. I just haven't been reviewing. Again, you guys are amazing. I am so grateful for each and every one of you. We're going to take this thing to the top. My goal, y'all, I'm going to tell y'all. I'm going to say it right here. I should have way more subscribers than I do. I'm not consistent with my channel, and I don't do that many videos like other people. So I understand why I've had like a very slow, steady growth, and I'm okay with it for the most part, because I don't want my channel to get too big. But my goal for 2026, I would like to get to 3,000. I know it don't sound like a lot, but I would like to get to 3,000 if I can, which I think is doable, but I got to stick with it. So anyway, you guys, like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you for rocking with me, and I'll see y'all for the next one. Okay, bye.